So you grasped onto the transition pretty readily. What do you imagine or have you experienced with other teachers would be the biggest learning curve for them or a challenge to their current pedagogy?
I think that a lot of it has to do with not just the questioning strategies, but also their ability to bloom out their skills and be able to think for themselves at a higher level. Like I said, that's kind of a comfort zone. I call it the basement of our teaching, and I think that we're all kind of comfortable there. The weather's nice there. We already know what's happening. We're in charge of what happens. There's no surprises. And so I think the hardest part for teachers is to let go and let kids let go. And they want to have a strong hold on them. They think that not knowing exactly what they're doing every second of the day makes them less of a teacher. Not knowing where they're going to take their thinking makes them less of a teacher. And so consequently, it's really difficult for them to lose control. Like they need to lose control to allow their kids to do the things they need to do.
So let's talk about the basement of blooms. Which levels are the basement of blooms?
Well, the basement of blooms for me are the knowledge, remembering, comprehension, basic application modes. And, and I call that the basement because that's the bottom levels of our learning. That's what we learn first. That's where we are comfortable. That's where we have the most control over kids. It's kind of read, regurgitate, read, summarize, apply basic skills to things we've already done before. And then the second part of it is the upper level of blooms, which is your analysis, your critical thinking, evaluation, creating. And I kind of consider that the top floor of our learning. It's where all the magic happens. It's kind of like a little suite. You take yourself to the top floor suite, and that's where you have all the toys and where you have all of the technology available to you and the ability to create whatever it is you want to be creating. I think it's fun up there. It's a better way of living. It's better than being in the basement, and kids love it up there. And if they could, they would skip the basement altogether. And so I think that's my analogy of it is, and that's the analogy I share with other teachers is why would you keep kids in the basement? Let them out, let them enjoy some sunshine, let them experience some new things, let them find out what they're capable of, and I think a lot of our teachers are just comfortable down there.
When you taught from textbooks, were the textbooks mostly in the basement?
The textbooks are all in the basement.
Okay.
You might occasionally have an evaluation question, but kids don't know how to answer them because they're not able to do them often enough to know what it takes to evaluate something.
So with these modules that include activities on every level of blooms, now you're not spending all your time in the basement. You have to start there and build up. But what percentage of time are you in the basement? What percentage are you in the top floor?
Well, I would say that we're less in the basement as we get farther and farther into the modules because I spend enough time visiting with my kids and knowing what they're capable of now because I meet with them on the average 6 times in one morning. So it's easier for me to decide whether they need to do all those activities or if I can skip them or combine them or compile them for them. Mm-hmm. And so we probably only spend about maybe a third, maybe not even a third, maybe a quarter of the time, depending on the student, in the basement. The rest of the time, we're pushing to get to those top 6 activities where they can create something.